Good day, everyone. Today we will be discussing the blood flow through the heart. The objective of this topic is to know how does the blood flow inside our heart. So here, okay, the first flow is from the superior and inferior vena cava. Okay, so let us see where is the superior and inferior vena cava. So this is the superior vena cava, and this is the inferior vena cava. So this superior vena cava drains blood coming from your head, neck, shoulders, and also your arms. And this in inferior vena cava, okay, drains the blood coming from your lower extremities. So we have two, superior and inferior vena cava. So we should note that this superior and inferior vena cava is taking up, okay, unoxygenated blood. So there's no oxygen, no? So that's why here in the illustration, their color is blue, okay? So remember that we are only determining how the blood flow inside the heart. So superior and inferior vena cava dump blood into the right atrium. So the next flow is that the blood that this superior and inferior vena cava carries, it will be dumped into the right atrium. So this is now your right atrium. Okay? Remember that the right atrium is one of the four chambers. So the first flow is going to the right atrium. Okay, so the right atrium is now the receiver of unoxygenated blood. So from the right atrium through the tricuspid valve, blood travels to the right ventricle. So from this right atrium, the work of the right atrium is receiving this unoxygenated blood and put it in the right ventricle. Okay? And it passes through an AV valve. So it is an AV valve called the tricuspid valve. Okay? So it passes through the tricuspid valve. So unoxygenated blood, okay, enter here on the right ventricle. Okay, so let's leave it the flow. Inferior vena cava to superior vena cava, and then it goes to the right atrium and goes to the right ventricle via tricuspid valve and goes next. Okay, so here from the right ventricle, we will now proceed to the pulmonary trunk. So the blood leaves the heart as it passes through the pulmonary semilunar valve into the pulmonary trunk. Pulmonary trunk, okay, so it is very confusing, you know. Pulmonary trunk or artery. Okay, so the blood from the right ventricle now, because this is unoxygenated, the purpose of the right is to push this one to the lungs. So from the right ventricle, it goes to the pulmonary artery or pulmonary trunk, okay, via this semilunar valve called pulmonary semilunar valve. So there is a valve that it will pass through, okay. So the ventricle will push the blood going to the pulmonary trunk or pulmonary artery via this valve. So let's see the direction of the flow. So from superior and inferior vena cava to the right atrium to the right ventricle via tricuspid valve to the pulmonary trunk via pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay. Pulmonary trunk splits into right and left pulmonary arteries and carry blood into the lung. So here we will have an illustration. So if this is the left ventricle, the right ventricle, sorry. If this is the right ventricle, the purpose of the right ventricle is to push the blood to the lungs. So we have the pulmonary trunk, Okay, from the right ventricle. So this one now will push the blood to the lungs. So we have here, it says here, the pulmonary trunk splits into right and left pulmonary arteries. So we have the pulmonary arteries here, right and left. So this is the left, which is connected to your lungs. Okay, and here the right connected to your lungs. So the illustration here shows that the blood will go to your lungs there. No? So from this pulmonary trunk, it will split into two. So this ventricle push the blood, goes in, and there is a valve here, okay, which is called pulmonary semi-lunar valve. Okay, so it goes there from the pulmonary trunk. It also splits into two. Okay, so that is the flow. So let's repeat. Let's see. So from the superior and inferior vena cava to the right atrium to the right ventricle via this tricuspid valve to the pulmonary trunk via this pulmonary semilunar valve, and it splits into right and left pulmonary artery. Okay. Next to that, oxygen is picked up and carbon dioxide is dropped off by the blood in the lungs. Okay, so from our illustration a while ago, so from the left and right, it goes also to the left and right lung. Okay, so pulmonary artery left, pulmonary artery right, goes to the lungs. And oxygen is picked up and carbon dioxide is dropped off by blood in the lungs. So uh, here, the blood is deoxygenated or full of carbon dioxide. No? So the blood here is full of carbon dioxide. So it goes there, and oxygen is very rich in our lungs. So oxygen is picked up and carbon dioxide is dropped off. So they will remove now the carbon dioxide there and take up the oxygen from the alveoli. That is what we call the external respiration. Okay. Then oxygen-rich blood returns to the heart through the four pulmonary veins. So if these are our lungs, so we create here, no? We have the left and the right. And always remember that the right has three lobes, two fissures, two lobes, one fissure, no? So here, from the lungs, we have the pulmonary vein. So if this is the uh, okay, if this is the left atrium, no? So here we have two pulmonary artery. Okay, here we have two pulmonary vein, I should say. Okay, so we have two pulmonary vein. So after the oxygen-rich blood, okay, or after the blood is filled with oxygen, it will now return to the heart. So from this one, no, the blood is being oxygenated. It will now return to the left atrium. Okay, so pulmonary artery, let's repeat, pulmonary artery, go to the left and right lung. Oxygenation takes place. Carbon dioxide is unloaded to the blood from the blood, and then oxygen is taken or picked up by the blood, and it returns now through the to the left atrium via this pulmonary vein. Four pulmonary veins. Okay, so we have four pulmonary veins. Okay, so four pulmonary veins. So always remember this left atrium is receiving now the oxygenated blood. Okay. Next, the blood enters the left atrium and travels through the bicuspid valve into the left ventricle. So if the blood is already on the left atrium, so this is now your left atrium, so the blood now will travel to your left ventricle via an AB valve here called the bicuspid valve. No? So we have the bicuspid valve Another name for this one is the mitral valve, if you remember. Okay? So from this, from the left ventricle, blood leaves the heart via the aortic semilunar valve. So here now, the blood will be pumped by your discharging chamber called the left ventricle and push the blood to the aorta. Okay? Passing now the aortic semilunar valve. So aortic semilunar valve and then to the aorta. Okay? Okay, so here, for you to memorize, you go to your slides and try to trace the blood flow through the heart. No? So here we go to we start here. Okay, example. No? So start here. From inferior vena cava to superior vena cava, blood flows to the right atrium and goes to the right ventricle via tricuspid valve and goes to the pulmonary trunk via pulmonary semilunar valve and goes to the right and left lung for oxygenation. Oxygen is taken from the lungs, carbon dioxide is discharged from the or deloaded or unloaded from the blood to the lungs to the alveoli. Then oxygen rich blood will now return to the heart and goes to the left atrium via four pulmonary vein and goes to the left ventricle via the bicuspid pipe or mitral valve and goes to the aorta via the aortic semilunar valve. And it goes now to the systemic circulation and goes to the body and tissue in which it will have gas exchange and material exchange in the capillary beds. Okay? So, the blood now, the exchange of materials and gas and carbon dioxide and materials now will be pushed back, okay, towards the heart and return to the heart in the superior and inferior vena cava. Okay? So, the heart's role in the blood circulation. Okay, so we now know how does the blood flow in the heart. Now, what is the role of the heart in the blood circulation? Of course, the heart is the pumping organ for the blood to circulate. Okay, so there are three circulation. Next, the heart's role in the blood circulation. So there are three roles of the heart in the blood circulation. First is the systemic circulation. What are we going to remember with this systemic circulation? So our code is this one, no? Left to right. Okay, from the left to the right. So that is our code, from the left to the right. Okay, so it's very easy to memorize because you just take the flow from the left to the right. So a while ago we discussed the flow of blood. Now we discuss the systemic circulation. So here, okay, systemic circulation is starting from the left atrium, goes to the left ventricle via bicuspid valve and goes to the aorta via aortic semilunar valve and goes to the body tissues or cell and go to the capillary bed wherein gas exchange and material exchange happen. So from here, okay, the blood now take up the carbon dioxide and waste products of the metabolism and return the blood into the right side of the heart via this inferior and superior vena cava. Done. So we said left to right. So that is the systemic circulation. So if you will notice that in this illustration, the systemic circulation is this one. This is the systemic circulation. So it says here from the left to the right. So that is the systemic circulation. Okay, the next one is the pulmonary circulation. So the pulmonary circulation here, blood flows from the right side, okay, back to the left side of the heart. A while ago in the systemic circulation is from the left to the right. Now here, blood flows from the right side of the heart, okay, back to the left side. Okay, so if you look at this one, no, so we will begin now to the right. Okay, so from the right atrium, unoxygenated blood, okay, is carried towards the right ventricle via the tricuspid valve. And it goes now to the pulmonary trunk via pulmonary semilunar valve. And it goes to the pulmonary artery, right and left, and goes to the lungs, right and left lungs, wherein oxygenation happens. So oxygen is taken up by the blood and carbon dioxide is unloaded from the blood to the alveoli. Now the oxygen-rich blood now is being returned to the heart via this four pulmonary vein going now to the left atrium. Done. So in this illustration, you will notice that the pulmonary circulation is this one, no? Is this one. This is the pulmonary circulation. Okay, so it's very easy to memorize and to understand. Just take it that the systemic circulation begins at the left side and goes back to the right side. And in the pulmonary circulation, what we need to know is this one is from the right side to the left side of the lungs. So when you say pulmonary circulation, it is circulation going towards the lungs. Okay, so this is very easy, no? Towards the lungs. Okay, so you practice again to determine where is the pulmonary circulation in systemic circulation. So we begin with the systemic circulation. A while ago, we said that the systemic circulation is here and the pulmonary circulation is here. Okay, and systemic circulation is from the left to the right. Okay, and the pulmonary circulation is from the right to the left. So let's begin with the systemic circulation. So we begin with the left, begin at the left atrium. So oxygenated blood from the left atrium will now brought or carried to the left ventricle via the bicuspid valve or mitral valve, and it goes to the aorta via aortic semilunar valve and goes to the body tissues and cell, and oxygen is unloaded from the blood. Okay, and now from the product of metabolism, carbon dioxide is loaded into the blood, and waste materials are also loaded into the blood, and it will go back to the superior and inferior vena cava and goes to the right atrium. Done. That is our systemic circulation. So you practice doing this one so that you can memorize. And then we have now the pulmonary circulation. Now this one is in reverse, no? So from the right to the left. So we begin. So from superior and inferior vena cava. So we start with the right atrium. Unoxygenated blood is brought to the right ventricle via this tricuspid valve and goes to the pulmonary trunk, okay, via this pulmonary semilunar valve and goes to the right and left pulmonary artery and goes to the right and left lung, and carbon dioxide is unloaded from the blood to the alveoli, and oxygen is taken up by the blood from the alveoli, and this oxygen-rich blood will now go back to the pulmonary to the heart via this pulmonary vein. Okay? So it goes back to the left atrium. Done. Okay, so it's very easy. So for you to memorize it, okay, go to the slides and trace the flow of the blood. Okay, so next is the cardiac circulation. Cardiac circulation is also known as the coronary circulation. So the cardiac circulation. Okay, this is also very important to us nursing because cardiac circulation has always been a problem. There's always been a pathologic problem that is being discussed with this cardiac circulation. Okay, all we know that the heart is the one supplying blood to the body, no? But who will supply blood to the heart? So these are the coronary arteries, the red one, this one, the arteries in our ventricles, no? In our ventricles. So these are the coronary arteries. Okay, this one. So we have the left coronary artery. Okay, so this is the left coronary artery, and this is the circumflex artery. Okay, we have three major arteries that we should know here. No? And then we have the anterior interventricular artery, and we have the right coronary artery. Of course, so what are the purpose of these arteries? Again, we define arteries carries blood, okay, away from the heart and supplies it to the body tissues. No, since this is the heart, they are supplying blood to the heart. These arteries carries blood to the myocardium, okay, to the myocardium. And myocardium again is the what we call the muscle of the heart. Usually most of the myocardium, but it supplies blood to the heart. Okay? So they are divided into three major arteries. We have circumflex artery. This circumflex artery provide blood, oxygenated blood, to the left ventricles and also to the other part of the right ventricle. Okay, and this anterior interventricular artery supplies the left ventricle, and we have the right coronary artery that supplies the right ventricle. Okay, the question that is being asked, this one in here, openly being asked, is where does the coronary artery originate? Okay, so the coronary artery originate in the base of the aorta. So that is the answer, no? So coronary artery originate in the base of the aorta. That's the answer. Coronary artery originates in the base of the aorta. Now, since these are artery, okay, the blood should also go back to our heart again. After they are being used, they will become deoxygenated and full of carbon dioxide. So they should go back again. That's why we have the coronary veins. The blue ones, no, they are the coronary vein. Okay? So later on we will see the back side of the heart. Okay. So here it says here, blood in the heart chamber does not nourish the myocardium. Okay? So the blood in the chamber does not nourish. Uh, it's not the blood in the heart inside the chamber. It doesn't nourish the myocardium because there's no way, there's no arteries inside the chamber to nourish the heart because the chamber only serve as receiver and discharging of blood, but they don't supply inside the heart. So the heart has its own nourishing circulatory system. Okay, and that is called the cardiac circulation. So remember, it has its own circulatory system. The first one is the coronary arteries that's branched from the aorta. very specific, is from the base of the aorta to supply the heart muscle with oxygenated blood. So if you say heart muscle, it's the myocardium. Okay? And to drain the unoxygenated blood, we have the cardiac veins that bring it back to the heart, no? Drain the myocardium of blood. And we have the coronary sinus, a large vein in the posterior heart that receives blood coming from the pulmonary vein. So these pulmonary veins are all connected to the coronary sinus. Okay? So they are the one, okay, getting the blood or draining the blood, unoxygenated blood from the heart. Okay, so coronary sinus. So we can see this one here. Okay, so coronary sinus can only be seen in the posterior of the heart. So they are located here. If you look at this one, this is an illustration of the posterior of the heart. No? So this is the uh, left atrium. Okay, underneath the left atrium, you can see now the coronary sinus. Okay, this coronary sinus now empties the blood. Okay, blood empties into the right atrium. So this coronary sinus is now connected to the right atrium so that it will empty the blood into the right atrium and goes for oxygenation again. So let's go back to the flow of the blood, no, in the heart. So right atrium, then right ventricle, then pulmonary arteries. Okay, so these are the pulmonary arteries here in the posterior part. Now, okay, so let's go now to the homeostatic imbalance, meaning if you say homeostatic imbalance, a problem or pathologic problem that happens in the heart, okay, in the cardiac circulation. Situation in which myocardium is deprived from oxygen, often resulting in crushing chest pain called the angina pectoris. If you say crushing chest pain, no, so sometimes the description is just like there is an elephant sitting on my chest. That is the description. My chest is very heavy. Okay, so there is pain that they can feel, and their chest is very heavy, and that is called angina pectoris. Okay, take note, deprived of oxygen. Deprived only, deprived from oxygen. So if they are deprived from oxygen, they are called angina pectoris. Okay, the manifestation of this angina pectoris is that they can be relieved at rest. So you ask your patient to sit down, relax, or lie down and relax. The pain will be removed. Okay, and here, this pain is a warning that should never be ignored. Says here, no? Because angina, if angina is prolonged, okay, the oxygen-deprived cells may die. So if you feel like there's a chest pain, like crushing chest pain, what is important for you is to know what are you going to do. So in relation to this topic, you let your client rest, sit down or lie down, relax. Okay? And if it is not being removed, the pain is not alleviated, no, we have to do something else. Okay? So because cardiac cells or heart cells already die if it is not being removed. So there will be what we call infarct. Ito na yung infarct. This is the most famous coronary artery disease, no? The angina pectoris and the myocardial infarct. They are the most famous. That's why it could not be removed in our board exam. Kasi this is always been encountered. This is a problem that is always been encountered. So this is now called myocardial infarction. Okay, myocardial infarction or MI. This is the most famous, no? MI, heart attack, coronary, or simply MI. This is the most famous MI, myocardial infarction. Infarct. When they ask you to describe what is infarct, sir, it is death of the heart cells. That's the answer. Death of the heart cell. Okay? Death of the heart cell. So what is the difference between the angina? Angina, there's no death, but they are deprived from oxygen. Okay? That is angina. Okay? And the pain could be removed by resting, if it is angina, put the client on rest, decrease cardiac workload, and the pain is gone. But in the MI, even though the client is already at rest, there is still chest pain. The only way to remove chest pain is to administer the drug called morphine. Okay? So this ends our discussion about the flow of blood in the heart. So thank you very much. I hope you understand our lesson. Okay?